Hello, everyone, and welcome to the City of Atlanta's virtual public input workshop for ActivateATL, our brand new Parks and Recreation 10-year planning campaign. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Tara Buckner, Master Plan Project Manager from the Department of Parks and Recreation. I'm here today with LaShondra Burks, Interim Commissioner for the Department of Recreation, Alvin Dodson, Deputy Commissioner, Keith Hicks, Director of Park Design, Aaron Weiner, Landscape Architect, Carlos Perez of Perez Planning and Design, Project Manager from the consultant side, and Sabina Kasimova, our colleague from Park Pride. We're going to wait just a moment so that we can get everybody connected. Stay tuned, and again, thank you for joining us. We're so glad you're here. Hello, everyone. Thank you again for joining us today. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pass it over to LaShondra Burks, Interim Commissioner for the Department of Parks and Recreation. LaShondra, you're on mute.
Now it's working. I kept
Hello.
trying to. I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Tara. I was trying to hit unmute, but it wouldn't unmute me. Technology these days. But good evening, everyone. And my name is LaShondra Burks. I'm serving as the Interim Commissioner of the Department of Parks and Recreation. And we are here today to get to know you, your hopes, and dreams for your Atlanta Parks and Recreation. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is a master plan and why should it matter to me? Well, master planning is a technique that is generally used to identify parks and recreation needs in the community, predict future demand, and build a shared vision and framework for long-term parks and recreation system development. We've invested a tremendous amount of resources and effort into this public engagement campaign with the goal of hearing the opinions of more Atlantans than ever before, from all ages, backgrounds, and zip codes, especially those of you who we don't always hear from. After the workshop, please be sure to complete our online survey at ActivateATL.com. This is the most important part, and it will only take you about 15 minutes. Listening to everyone will build a better parks and recreation system over the next 10 years. Let's take a moment to watch a short introductory video that shows some of the ways that ActivateATL will work to get your opinions and put them into action.
Atlantans are resilient. As we weather these trying times together, we're reminded each day of just how precious recreational activities are with friends and family, how much of an impact parks and green spaces make on all of our lives. Through all of it, the City of Atlanta's Department of Parks and Recreation is here, continuing to serve you and your loved ones while planning for an even better Atlanta tomorrow. Our team is operating round the clock to continue serving meals to Atlanta students at our Centers of Hope program during school closures. working hard to maintain our parks to ensure Atlanta's residents have opportunities to enjoy sunshine, breathe fresh air, connect with nature, engage in safe exercise, and see friends and neighbors in our parks at a safe distance, as these opportunities are vital to our mental and physical health. But we need you to build a better tomorrow together. That's why we launched ActivateATL, Recreation and Parks for All, a 10-year planning effort that relies on learning about your unique priorities, needs, and perceptions to preserve what you love about your parks and recreation system and to grow it to make it even better. Our most important goal is to offer you access to safe, exceptional outdoor spaces and recreational experiences that serve your needs and ultimately improve the health and happiness of all Atlantans in all neighborhoods. But we need your help. We can only accomplish our dream of building a greater and greener Atlanta with you. Help us design a new vision for our parks and recreation system over the next decade. Fill out our brief survey or attend a virtual public input workshop to share your opinions and to activate ATL. Only together we can deliver the dream of one Atlanta, an Atlanta where we all have an equal opportunity to play, run, grow, learn, interact with nature and each other.
Thank you again for joining us to Activate ATL. And now I'd like to turn it over to our Deputy Commissioner, Alvin Dodson, who will provide details on today's workshop. Alvin?
Thank you, LaShondra. This workshop is part of a larger series for community input, and each workshop will highlight a different area of the city. There's nothing quite like discovering a new green space or learning about new recreational programs. And we want to support you in discovering all that Atlanta has to offer. Today's workshop theme is Northwest Atlanta, and we will highlight a few of the parks and amenities in this area later on. Today is our 6th virtual public input meeting. That's 6 out of 12. So please feel free to come back and join another one and tell your friends. Each meeting will highlight a different area of the city. Our last 2 meetings on July 18th will actually be in Spanish. No matter where you live, work, or play, we still want to hear from you and about all of your parks and recreation activities. For now, let's start by covering why your opinion matters so much to Activate ATL. Then we will show you all the ways you can give us your feedback. We'll be doing some fun live polling, so stay tuned for the details. We've also set aside part of this workshop for a live Q&A with Carlos Perez, our local lead on this project from Perez Planning and Design. Please send us all your questions about Activate ATL now. We want to hear from you. We don't just want folks to answer our questions, but we want to answer yours too. You can ask us anything. For example, what is a master plan? Why does this matter to me? What will you do with my feedback from the survey, and so on? Thank you again for your participation. And now I'll hand the presentation over to Aaron Weiner with the Park Design Office.
Thank you, Alvin. Before we get started, I'd like to cover a little housekeeping. Let's start by looking at our new project website for ActivateATL. We've got lots of information to go through, but if you only take one thing away from today's workshop, please take our online survey. It is the single best way for the city to gather information from you that helps to decide what Atlanta parks and recreation offerings will look like over the next 10 years. You can get to the online survey from ActivateATL.com by scrolling down on the homepage and clicking the link that says Take the Survey Now. Once you've taken the short survey, you'll be entered into a drawing to win a limited edition Activate ATL t-shirt and other fun giveaways. We are streaming from a few different platforms. We're on Zoom, we're live on the Department of Parks and Recreation Facebook page, and streaming directly on our own project website, ActivateATL.com. Please send us all your questions throughout this webinar. If you are watching on Facebook Live, please send us any question by commenting on the Facebook Live video to the right of the screen. If you are watching on the ActivateATL website, please email any questions or comments to activate-atl@atlanta.ga.gov. We've also sent out this email address in the chat box below. If you're using Zoom, please note that your lines are muted. However, that doesn't mean we can't interact in real time. Take a look at the buttons on the bottom of the Zoom screen for the Q&A box and the chat box. If you want to ask us a question, click the Q&A button, type in your question, and click send. If you want to chat with us directly, send us a message in the chat box and we'll respond. Now, let's get activated. Some of our community members sent in footage highlighting facts about Atlanta's parks and recreation. Let's check out one of those videos.
Hi, my name is Sophia Borg. I serve as a Community Engagement Director here with the Sarah J. Gonzalez Park, which is the first park in the state of Georgia to be named after a person of Latinx heritage. The park is also ADA accessible, has an ethnobotanical garden featuring plants from all over Latin America, and is located in the northwest part of Atlanta. Did you know that the City of Atlanta maintains more than 400 parks and green spaces, totaling 4,962 acres? That's a lot. A big thank you to all of the park's employees who work to keep these spaces for us to enjoy, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic.
They don't call Atlanta a city in the forest for nothing. Atlanta's urban tree canopy leads the nation. Nearly 48% of Atlanta is covered by an urban tree canopy, placing Atlanta above other major cities in the United States. I'm going to pass it off to my colleague Keith Hicks so he can chime in.
Hi everyone, I'm Keith Hicks, Director of Park Design. Part of our goal for ActivateATL is to help maintain Atlanta's green city in a forest status as one of its greatest assets, protecting, growing, and transforming Atlanta's distinct landscapes into public amenities for all Atlantans to enjoy. Here at the Department of Parks and Recreation, we try and organize the city's parks and recreation offerings into 4 different quadrants, each with a plethora of amenities from outdoor courts to fields and pavilions. Today's workshop will highlight areas closest to Northwest Atlanta. Our Northwest Atlanta district covers a large amount of space. Northwest Atlanta includes neighborhoods such as Chastain, Bankhead, Bolton, Grove Park, Mosley Park, and Carver Hills. Did you know that Chastain Park also includes Chastain Arts Center and Chastain Horse Park? Blue Heron Nature Preserve is also nearby. Anderson Park, Chastain Park, John F. Kennedy Park, Little Nancy Creek Park, Mosley Park, Peachtree Hills Park, Standing Peachtree Park, and Washington Park all have outdoor pavilions. A.D. Williams Park, Chattahoochee, Leon Cooper Shepherd, Maddox Park, and Underwood Hills all have basketball courts. Anderson Park, Central Hill Park, and Grove Park all have tennis courts. Northwest Atlanta also has 4 centers of hope: Collier Park, English Park, Grove Park, and Washington Park. And just as an FYI, Centers of Hope are high-performing recreation centers with enhanced youth development. Here we're looking at some of the parks and recreational facilities in Northwest Atlanta. Be sure to check out our DPR's website for further information on the city's amenities. Now, I'd like to turn it over to Tara Buckner, who's going to tell you more about why we want to hear from you.
Thank you, Keith. Now let's talk ActivateATL. First, I want to provide you with some background information about who is helping us, DPR staff, develop Activate Atlanta, how they will do it, and how they will ensure that your input is reflected in the final plan. ActivateATL is a big effort because it will look at the entire system of citywide parks and recreation offerings. Public engagement for ActivateATL is being funded through a generous grant from a local philanthropy and spearheaded in partnership with Park Pride, the 30-year-old Atlanta-based nonprofit that engages communities to activate the power of parks. ActivateATL will ultimately provide a 10-year vision for evaluating our facilities, programs, and services, acquiring and developing parkland, and taking a closer look at our maintenance and operations, as well as our overall administration and management. ActivateATL will also identify important funding recommendations to help elevate Atlanta's park and recreation system into a world-class system. Taking the survey on our website at activate-atl.com will have a direct influence on the programming and activities that will take place at local recreation centers and in parks, strengthen what Atlantans love about recreational activities in the neighborhood parks, and identify crucial opportunities for growth. So please be sure to take the survey. Equity is a driving force of Atlanta, ActivateATL, and is designed to further Mayor Bottom's vision for One Atlanta, where all Atlantans have the equitable access to high-quality parks and recreational activities that will meet their needs and promote health, well-being, and quality of life. Metro Atlanta is the fastest growing area in the country. And while most of the growth is in the suburbs, there are estimates that the city of Atlanta could triple in population over the next 30 years. And that means more parks and recreation users. The purpose of ActivateATL is to lay out a series of recommendations for the future of Atlanta's recreation and parks, and to work to implement that vision for Atlanta over the next 10 years. The project team is now reviewing all of the existing conditions of Atlanta's parks and recreation, which includes things like the availability and the quality of amenities such as playgrounds, ball fields, restrooms, benches, and everything in between. Taken together with your input from the survey, the project team will work to create a plan that addresses your needs and the city's challenges. We'll come back to you with this plan for a second wave of public engagement soon to confirm that we have heard you correctly and to invite further feedback and input. In the meantime, please continue to join the other virtual meetings that we are having. And be sure, again, take the survey. Please take the survey. So the survey is only available through July 24th, so please be sure to fill it out before then. Based on the follow-up we hear from you, we will further refine to develop the final master plan, which will ultimately be presented to the City Council for review and adoption. Your ideas will help us decide what upgrades to invest in, what new classes to offer, and where to add new green spaces for you to enjoy. Now that's a lot to remember. If you have any questions about ActivateATL, please send them our way via the Zoom Q&A box, Facebook, or email us at activate-atl@atlantagA.gov. Now that we've covered some background information about how we are developing ActivateATL, let's get into some polling questions. So get your phones out and your computers ready. You can participate in this live poll by sending a text message to 22333 or by visiting polleviasinvictor.com/ActivateATL207 from any web browser. Don't worry, you won't need to download anything. Simply open up your internet browser on any of your devices and head to pollev.com/ActivateATL207. All of our questions will sync here automatically, so all you have to do is respond with one tap. If you prefer to respond by texting, please start a new text message. You'll enter 22333 in the to line and write ActivateATL207 in the body of the text. You only need to send this text once to start the polling. After you send this one text to start the conversation, you can simply just text in your answer each time you see us move to a new question. Now, you won't receive a confirmation text after each response, but be assured that we are receiving your answers. Answers will populate for us to see in real time. After 30 seconds, we will review the live polling responses to see if we can find any trends. If you have any questions or technical difficulties, please send them to us in the chat message. Let's start with our first polling question. Given the recent COVID-19 crisis, how has the importance of parks, trails, open spaces, and/or recreation changed for you and your family? We'll leave 30 seconds for a response to roll in here. And don't forget, you can participate in the poll at pollev.com/ActivateATL207 or texting the phrase ActivateATL207 to 22333. And just text in the letter A, B, etc. So all of these polling questions are being recorded, so we'll have them to review in depth after this meeting. So the question again, given the recent COVID-19 crisis, how has the importance of parks, trails, open spaces, and recreation changed for you and your family? A, the importance has increased a lot. B, their importance has increased a little bit. C, no change. D, the importance has decreased a little bit. And E, the importance has decreased a lot. Oh, wow. And thank you all for participating. So it appears the importance has increased a lot. Excellent. It's important to see how the impact of green space has had over your lives, and then particularly over the last few months. In fact, parks and recreation systems like ours here in Atlanta can make a big impact on health every day. Did you know that spending time in parks can help improve you and your family's health? It's very true. Interaction with nature is consistently shown to be one of the most effective medicines for warding off depression, stress, anxiety, improving mood, strengthening the immune system, promoting cognitive development, learning capacity, and restoration. During quarantine, Safely exercising at a distance in your public park is an excellent way for you to improve your health. Now, when it is safe, Atlanta Recreation Centers will continue to offer an incredible range of activities that you love. So we've actually received several questions on the various amenities such as playgrounds and outdoor pools and even courts. When will they open back up? A couple weeks ago, DPR was able to open some of those amenities with limitations in place. It includes indoor pools, golf, and tennis courts. Our Office of Recreation also launched free virtual summer camp, which streams daily through Facebook and Zoom. Decisions for additional amenities, either opening or requiring a different course of action, will be based on data and in coordination with the mayor's office in alignment with the city's phased reopening plan. You can be sure to find the latest updates on DPR's webpage as well as DPR's social media platforms. Now let's get back to the polling question. On this poll, let's talk about virtual programming. What type of virtual programming would you and your family be most likely to join if we offered it? Virtual nature hikes and tours, virtual summer camps, fine arts and drawing classes, virtual fitness classes, or something other. And please type in the details of what other is for you. Oh, wow. I'm really enjoying seeing the responses. Thank you again for participating with us tonight. This input is exactly what we need to improve our parks and recreation access. We can prioritize what types of programming DPR will put in place or has in place. So now let's try a fun word cloud polling question here. Text or respond in just one word. What is your favorite thing to do at your local park and/or recreation center? Biking, running, oh, swinging. Yeah, that's also fun. Bike, okay. Relaxing, oh, picnic. These responses are great. Bird watching. Okay, taking classes, aerobics, just lounging. Excellent, excellent. These are such awesome activities. We want to do our best to make sure that these are always available to you. Did you know that the Atlanta Department of Parks and Recreation puts out a catalog 4 times a year that describes all the centers of hope, seasonal events, after-school programming, summer camps, classes and activities, other things that you can participate in? It's true. From golfing to arts and crafts to Zumba and even pickleball. There are so many diverse and affordable activities that are offered that engage everyone from our youth to our seniors and everyone in between. You can register for all of these things online at iParks at the DPR website. Giving us your opinion can help us identify neighborhoods that have the greatest need, helping us to invest in programming and assets that benefit the greatest number of residents. So together, let's activate ATL. And with that, I'll pass it over to Sabina Kasimova, our colleague at Park Pride.
Thank you, Tara, and thank you again so much to everyone for joining us today. As a reminder, if you have any questions at all about ActivateATL, please send them our way. If you're using Zoom, send them in using the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. If you're on Facebook, send a comment using the comment box to the right of the video. Or if you're watching directly on the ActivateATL website, email your questions to us at activate-atl@atlantagA.gov. And again, that email is in the chat box as well. So we will answer all of these great questions in our live Q&A session happening shortly. There are so many ways to reach us and tell us your opinion. We have actually created and mailed out a survey to more than 8,000 City of Atlanta households at random, and we will use those results when we create our plan. If you happen to receive a letter in the mail, please do us a huge favor by responding to the questions and sending it on back to us. The same input can also be provided by completing our online survey at activate-atl.com. Have you heard about the online survey yet? I'm just kidding. Of course, you've heard about the online survey. So just one more time, I'm here to say, please, please, please fill out our online survey because that's the single best way for us to hear directly from you. So now, instead of just talking about gathering your input, let's see and hear some more of it. In our recent call for interviews, we asked you to send us your videos to tell us about your favorite activities in parks, green spaces, trails, and at recreation centers, and what you want to see and do in the future. So let's take a look.
My name is Brian Jenkins, and welcome to Jenny Drake Park. What I love about Parks and Trails is the peacefulness, the tranquility. It's analog. I can slow down all of the stimulus and just hone in and focus on me. An opportunity to just relax my mind and be peaceful.
Because it's free fun and I come here with my friends to play basketball. My favorite activity to do at a park is play with my dog and throw the frisbee.
I am a big runner and I love being active, getting outside, running a lot. So I would say really expanding our running trail network. That's something I would love to see in our parks.
Hi, I'm Malika.
Hi, I'm Molly.
And we're at the Morningside Nature Preserve. I think the glass half full part of the pandemic is it has given us time to kind of think out of what we usually would do, like going to Six Flags or to a water park, and take advantage of the great parks that the City of Atlanta has. There's a lot more than we even realized.
Basically, it just helps me get out the house and do something else for a change, because before we didn't really have time to do this, so it's kind of new for us, but it's fun.
I love Parks and Trails because it's a great way to get around town, have fun outside, there's plenty to see and do.
Join me to activate ATL.
Join me to activate ATL.
Join us to activate ATL.
Amazing. We are so appreciative of everybody who took the time in to send us a video, and especially to our youth who make up such a huge majority of our Parks and Rec users. So we really want to make sure that their needs are met too. So on that point, speaking of specific parks, let's go ahead and do another polling question on that. So again, speaking of specific parks, how do you feel about your local parks and/or the recreational activities offered? A, very satisfied, you love them, you wouldn't change a thing. B, you're just satisfied, you enjoy the parks and/or activities offered. C, you're unsure, in which case, again, please send us your questions, any that you may have. D, you're dissatisfied. They could be improved and/or more interesting activities could be offered. Or E, very dissatisfied, you would change lots of things. So I see right now where about 30% have said D, they're dissatisfied. So we are so appreciative that you're here and providing this input. This is exactly what we need to know so we can learn how we can make your experience better. But I'm also so glad to see that, you know, the majority say they're satisfied, you enjoy the parks and/or activities offered, but we're also, obviously, we're glad everybody's here, whether you're satisfied, very satisfied, dissatisfied. We want all of your input so we can figure out what we can do to make your experience even better. So these responses are fantastic. Thank you so much. We actually do have an app coming out soon, hopefully within the next few days, that will allow you to send us your feedback about specific parks and amenities. It's called Happy Feet Atlanta, and it will be available soon in the App Store. So stay tuned for updates on our website, follow DPR on social media, and you'll definitely be the first to know. So check within the next few days. We're very excited about it. So let's do another polling question on this topic. Earlier, we had talked about the importance of understanding needs and priorities for facilities and programs. So this polling question is related to parks and recreation amenities. Amenities are any desirable or useful features in a building or place. So here, this can refer to the availability of green spaces, sports fields, recreation centers, and more. So from this list, please write in any order at all up to 3 amenities that are important to you but could be better provided. So this is a write-in option, so you can choose to write in the letters or write in the full text. So A is trails and sidewalks, B is adventure sports, C is natural spaces, D is outdoor play spaces, E is indoor performing arts spaces, and F is other. So again, with this, keep in mind, you can always select other if there is a specific amenity that's on your mind that you want us to know about. Just please send us those details and write in everything you want us to know. So I see here we're getting a lot of votes for trails and sidewalks and also outdoor play spaces. So that information is great. I've been noticing a trend for trails and sidewalks recently. Yep, another vote for trails, natural spaces as well, which can be very fitting. So I see here somebody sent in a lengthier feedback. So again, thank you so much. This is all exactly what we need to hear. Restrooms, again, that falls under the other category. I see here we have a couple votes again for trails and sidewalks. We've gotten a lot of those today. A few more for outdoor play spaces and natural spaces as well. So all of this is very fitting and aligned. So it looks like, oh, we got another vote for trails. Definitely a consistency I'm noticing there. So I think that the responses may have stopped rolling in on this one. So let's move on to the next question. It's very similar. So this is again related to amenities. You have different options here. So again, write in question. Please write in any order up to 3 amenities that are important to you but could be better provided. So A is sports courts. So that can refer to a basketball court, a tennis court, etc. B is sports fields. So that is a baseball field, a football field, a soccer field, etc. C is indoor recreation spaces. So that would be indoor soccer, indoor squash, indoor tennis, indoor basketball, etc. Again, summer in Atlanta, I'm sure we'll get some votes for pools here. We have option D is indoor pool, option E is outdoor pool, and then F is other. So please send us those details. I see here we've gotten a couple votes for dog parks today, so that is great. And splash pads, that is, again, summer in Atlanta, it's very fitting. Indoor recreation spaces and restrooms. We've gotten a lot of votes for restrooms today. I see here outdoor pool, another vote for indoor recreation spaces and sports fields. So again, we can't thank you enough for engaging with us today. This is exactly what we need for developing ActivateATL. I see here we have sports fields, indoor recreation spaces, indoor pool. So all very, very, very important amenities, but We do appreciate you prioritizing the top 3 that are most important to you. So it does look like we may have had all of our responses roll in on this one. So I'll just give it another second here. The next questions are similar, but they're related to recreational programming. So I think that may be all on this question. Let's move on to the next one. So again, similarly, but this time recreational programming, it's a write-in question. So please write in any order at all up to 3 programs that are most important to you and your family, but could be better provided. Would you say A, wellness and fitness programs, B, aquatics programs, C, sports programs, so that's basketball, soccer programs, etc., and D, other is always interesting. So again, please send us all those details on what you'd like to see. We've been noticing a lot of trends for wellness and fitness, so that's the first one I noticed came in, and a lot of feedback about dog parks, so that's great information. And rock climbing programs, I love it. I see here adult programming, that's great to know, and yoga specifically. So yoga is great feedback. Also Zumba, Pilates, all these different wellness programs. And I'm noticing a big trend for wellness and fitness today as well. Sports, yep, adult golf. See, we love those details as well. So thank you for providing that specific feedback. This is all such great information. Yep, another wellness and fitness. Definitely today, those are my top 2 trends I've noticed is trails and sidewalks and wellness and fitness. And always a lot about dog parks. We definitely want to make sure our furry companions' needs are met as well. Got definitely 3 in a row for wellness and fitness. We have sports. I do notice that someone selected D. So again, if you could just please send us those details whenever you can. But I think that we have come to crest on these responses. So we have one more similar to this. Let's move on to that one. Again, same as last time, please write in any order up to 3 programs that are most important to you and your family, but could be better provided. So here, A is summer camp programs, B is visual and performing arts programs, C is nature programs, D is community special events, so those are festivals, things of that nature, and E is again other, so please send us those details. I see here we have visual and performing arts, nature programs, community events. Wow, three votes in a row for visual and performing arts. And also community events, kids nature hike, we love it. That's great feedback. Another community events, nature programs, visual and performing arts. So neighbors, curious, and again, if there's you know, any more specific feedback, definitely send us an email and we can follow up with you for neighbors. So I'm thinking more adult programming is what the intent is here. So that is fantastic. Visual and performing arts. We got definitely, I haven't noticed a lot of them coming in for nature programs. So this is great to know. Community events, wonderful. We'll leave another few moments here. And again, all of these responses are being recorded. They are saved in our reporting. So as the project team is developing their final plan recommendations, all of this input will be used to inform that. So this is great information. I see here we have community events, nature programs, and park improvement. This is fantastic. All of these amenities and programming needs are super important for sure. Here's where planning becomes a little bit more difficult though. While all of these needs are obviously very important, we cannot address them all simultaneously, unfortunately. It's really important to prioritize what the public believes needs to be addressed first and foremost. So with that being said, this next question helps us address these priorities. It's unfortunately the only question that can't be completed by text message, so we did save it for last. Again, you can complete all these questions at pollev.com/ActivateATL207. This is a ranking question, so you're going to put them in order. how would you rank the following from most to least important? Would you build new parks and outdoor recreation facilities, or would you fix existing parks and outdoor recreation facilities? Would you build new indoor recreation and performance or cultural centers, or would you fix existing indoor recreation and performance or cultural centers? Build more walking and biking trails, or expand existing walking and biking trails? So currently in first place, we have build more walking and biking trails. I've been noticing a consistency with the trails today for sure. Second place is expand existing walking and biking trails. Third, fix existing parks and outdoor recreation facilities. And then fourth is build new parks and outdoor recreation facilities. It does seem in fifth and sixth place, both of the options for indoor recreation and performance and cultural centers. It actually just moved up a bit. So this info is great. We so appreciate you prioritizing all of these to make sure that it's definitely not easy, but it's a very important part of the process. So we appreciate you doing that for us here. We'll just leave one more moment here for responses to roll in. Currently in first place, we have expand existing walking and biking trails. So absolutely a trend. I would say that's my trend of the day in that regard. Second place, build more walking and biking trails. So it looks like we may have come to a crest on the responses coming in here. So again, we cannot thank you enough for this amazing information. Your participation today and on the online survey will make all the difference in how we invest in all of the City of Atlanta's parks, open spaces, and recreational programs in the decade to come. So thank you again. In a moment, I'll pass it back to Tara Buckner for our live Q&A session. Again, if you have any questions at all about your parks and recreation activities, about participating in ActivateATL, or any other questions at all, please send them our way and we'll get those answered for you. You can use the Zoom Q&A feature on the bottom of your screen, comment on Facebook Live to the right of the video, or email your questions directly to us at activate-atl@atlantagA.gov. The last thing I will say one more time, please complete our online survey. If you do, you will be entered into a drawing to win one of those really great ActivateATL t-shirts we showed off earlier in the PowerPoint, and I will show you an example. So definitely an awesome shirt. If you want to win one of those, please be sure to complete the online survey. It will only take 15 minutes of your time. So thank you again for engaging with us today. And I look forward to working together to activate ATL.
Thank you, Sabina. And the shirt is wonderful. I had it on earlier. I don't have it on right now. But listen, I'm here joined with Carlos Perez of Perez Planning and Design. He is our local project manager on the consulting side. Please know that we cannot develop this plan without your input, and we want to make sure that all your questions get addressed. I'll do my best to work through all the questions, but if we don't answer your question, please email us at activate-atl@atlantagA.gov, and a project team manager will follow up with you. So let's start with the first question. So we've received several questions regarding maintenance of parks and park issues. The best way to deal with immediate issues, because the plan is a plan, the best way is to get your park activated or maintenance issues addressed is to contact Parks customer service at atlantagA.gov. I'm sorry. So that's Parks, P-A-R-K-S as in Sam, customer service, that's all one word, Parks customer service at atlantagA.gov. And so let's see. We have a question about our app. When is the app going to be ready? Happy Feet. It should be online and available in the next couple days. So please check out ActivateATL and we'll let you know as soon as it becomes live. Okay, we have a second question here regarding the West Side Park. A couple of questions about when is it, what's going on there. So many of you know that on the west side of town, there is a new park that's under development now. It's a two-phase operation, and we anticipate the first phase will be done at the end of the summer. So very soon the park will be online and you'll be able to go and enjoy the trails and other amenities that will be available in West Side Park. So it is currently under construction and will open very soon. Carlos, we have a question.
Yes.
Can you tell us, will you incorporate the NPU plans in the master plan?
You know, we've been getting a lot of questions recently about existing plans being reviewed and included in the plan, and the answer is absolutely. Atlanta has done a lot of planning, and it's important that we consider that and include that as part of the process. In fact, those plans serve as the existing foundation from which we're starting off from. So yes, we'll be reviewing them and including them.
Okay, and thank you for that answer. Kate is further asking, can you talk about the NPU outreach in the process?
Yes, before COVID, Park Pride actually went to mostly all, I believe, almost all of the NPUs and let them know about the process, let them know it was coming, provided them information, and continues to coordinate with them. So I believe that that's something that continues. Sabina, is there anything that you want to add to that? I know you had a big role in doing that.
Yeah. Again, before COVID, obviously so much has changed since then, but we had been going out. I would say we went to at least 15 to 18 out of the 25 MPUs. So we went to a lot of those meetings, as many that we could fit in that time frame after COVID. So recently, when we've launched the project, we've been in contact with all the NPU chairs. We've shared them all of the information about ActivateATL and requested their support and sharing within their network. We are also working with individual neighborhood organizations. So basically everyone in the neighborhood organization directory, we have reached out to let them know, please share this information within your neighborhood. So if there is any leads that we have not tried, please let us know and we will be happy to get in contact with them.
Thank you both for answering that question. We have a question regarding our public meetings here, our virtual public meetings. So we have 12 scheduled. The question is, what's the next step after the virtual public meetings?
After the virtual public meetings are complete, we're going to be doing a lot of analysis. The virtual public meetings are just one of the many techniques that we're using to collect input. And so we're going to look at all the findings from all the different public engagement techniques and essentially look for patterns and themes, and then use that to inform what the needs and priorities are from a parks and recreation standpoint, and be delivering that to the department as well as to various other groups, and sharing what we've learned. All this is leading to the visioning workshop that we're going to be doing later on in the process. That's going to be informed by this needs assessment, and ultimately going back to the public around early 2021 to come back to you to make sure that we've heard you, and also get your ideas on how we can respond to those needs as part of the visioning process.
Okay, we have a couple more questions, but I want to just take a moment as they come through to remind you to complete the survey at ActivateATL.com. Take the survey. The t-shirt is really cute.
It is.
So,
it's an awesome t-shirt.
I'm sorry?
It's a great t-shirt.
It is. It's a really great t-shirt, yeah. So the next question is about equity. How are we addressing equity in this plan?
Wow, that's it's a great question, and I'd say we are addressing equity in every possible way we can. Definitely integrating this with the Mayor's One Atlanta plan. Everything from ensuring that we are reaching as many people as we can through public engagement in all different types of form, both digital as well as traditional media. So we collect that input. We are also meeting with a whole bunch of different focus groups to get their input. We're also doing a lot of analysis too, a lot of data analysis from different ways, different forms to understand data from, again, different vantage points and understand it from an equity perspective. And ultimately, the vision will be informed by all this data. And one of the goals from the recommendations is going to be based on it. So again, we're looking, equity is a big part of this process.
Okay, thank you for that answer. Last question here. And it's, how will you address my individual park in the master plan?
As has been mentioned previously, we have an app that's rolling out in a couple of days. It's called ActivateATL. I believe that's right. And if not, I think we have it in our in the chat box. But please stay connected to the website because there'll be a lot more information about it. And through that app, what we'd love for you to do is share your thoughts about your specific local park. Anything that comes to mind, what could be improved, what you'd like to see, because we're going to include all that information. In addition to that, the project team and the city are also evaluating the city's parks. We're visiting them and doing an evaluation of them. So we'll include that information as well. And then when we come back to the public around 2021, early 2021, we're going to come back to you with first what we heard from you and make sure that we heard you correctly and we didn't miss anything. And then at that time, share some ideas of how we're responding to the needs. And at that time, we'd love to get your thoughts on whether we've addressed your needs and also talk about what improvements you'd like to see in the park.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Sabina. And thank you all for all those great questions. We're so appreciative that you have voiced your questions and your thoughts about the plan today. Remember, if we missed your question tonight, please send them via email to activate-atl@atlantagA.gov, and we will reach out to you in a few days. One more time, please, please, please fill out our survey at activate-atl.com. It will take less than 15 minutes. It's only available through July 24th. And if you complete the survey, you will be entered into a drawing for a wonderful ActivateATL t-shirt. And we'll contact you by August 1st to let you know if you are a winner. So as a reminder, this is the 6th of 12 virtual meetings. And we hope that you will come back again and you will bring others with you to our next set of meetings. The next set will be Saturday, July 11th at 10 a.m. and or 6 p.m. 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. We'd love to be in your whole day talking about the plan. And I believe we're going to highlight Southwest Atlanta on that day. So if you are living in that area or if you have friends, please let them know that we would like to hear from them. Your opinion today, it does matter, and it will help us define the next 10 years here in Atlanta's Park and Recreation. So thank you so much for working to activate ATL. Again, don't forget to tell your friends. Have a wonderful rest of your day and stay well, Atlanta.